Alaska is a place most people have had a dream of visiting at one point in their lives or another. We were drawn to the massive mountains, blue glaciers, unspoiled landscapes, and a different way of life that just felt a little bit more like living on the edge. So when we started traveling North America in our van, it was the first place we wanted to visit. We fell in love with Alaska so much that even after our first trip, we knew we were leaving with some unwritten chapters. That brought us back for a second summer to carry out those dreams. This is a tale of our travels across those 2 summers and what Alaska has taught us along the way. When you enter Alaska by car, plane, or boat, you'll immediately get a sense for just how large the scale is. It's something that no maps, no pictures, or videos can really capture. You have to be there, you have to feel it, and you have to experience it. Our story starts by entering the state on the Alaska Highway just southeast of the town of Tok.
How's it going?
How many?
2.
License plate in what state?
Nevada.
Anything from Canada with you guys?
Couple plums, some cherry tomatoes.
How long you guys staying up here?
The summer.
Okay. You been up here before?
We have.
How many pets?
Just one.
There you go. Have a good one.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you got a treat.
Good. How are you?
All right. Do you guys like any kind of inflatable pack rafts, paddle boards, kayaks, any kind of watercraft?
No.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks. We are officially in Alaska. Customs was really easy. In fact, the guy even gave Wes a little milk-bone treat, which was really nice. And now we're just kind of stuck in construction because the roads in Alaska don't get much better than they were in the Yukon. Today we're headed to Tok, and we'll try and find somewhere to camp there tonight. There's not a lot in between here and there, but it's really good to be back in Alaska.
I'd like to take a quick moment to talk about one thing we really wish we would have had when we traveled up to Alaska, which brings me to today's video sponsor, the Hover Air X1 Pro Max drone. When you're in a place as grand as Alaska, there is absolutely no shortage of video or photo opportunities, and you're going to want to be able to capture those so that you can share them with family, friends, and on social media. But when you're in the moment, the last thing you want to be doing is worrying about flying a drone, which is where this little guy comes in. We have completely fallen in love with this drone that is so incredibly easy to fly, and it's perfect whether you're a seasoned drone pilot or somebody that's just getting into the space that wants to be able to capture that unique perspective only a drone can provide. Simply put it on one of the 15 different tracking modes, launch it, and the drone does all of the hard work for you. Some of our favorite tracking modes that you might remember from previous videos are the dolly zoom, spiral, orbit, and follow. And not only that, but it captures them all in 8K resolution, which is really incredible for a little drone of this size. You can bet that we will be bringing this little guy on all of our future trips, whether it be up to the last frontier or beyond, so that we can really capture the essence of the environment and the space that we're in while still being present with each other and enjoying the moment while we're in it. If you would like to purchase one of your own Hover Air X1 Pro Maxes, scan the QR code here. I will also have a link in the description for you to click on, and I hope that you take it up to Alaska or any other adventures and vacations that you might be going on. Once again, thank you so much to Hover Air for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to Alaska.
I think we found our first campsite in Alaska. It's free. It has a river. I definitely think Wes is gonna approve because it has been a long drive day, but let's make sure. Gotta be at a yard sale. Turns out it might be an inside afternoon. So you got a lot of rain heading our way. Hopefully not too much, huh, bud? Good morning. We had a really nice night. Our first night in Alaska. It was super peaceful, great camp spot. It did rain heavily most of the night, but I think the first night was just a great start to this trip. And I think we're gonna start pushing on now. We're gonna head down to a fjord down by the coast, maybe do some fishing, maybe go see a glacier. I'm really excited to get this trip going. If you ever find yourself in Alaska on the Richardson Highway in Glen Allen, there's a visitor center here that is awesome. Very friendly staff. Got my fishing regulations today for where we're headed. They have all kinds of trail information. They have all the information on Alaska. Definitely recommend stopping here.
We carried on down the Richardson Highway for several hours, driving past beautiful snow-covered mountains and glaciers to a place we had fallen in love with the previous year, Valdez. Not only is it a charming coastal town with rich and also some dark history if you remember the Valdez oil spill, but the drive there is something to be experienced.
We are in Keystone Canyon on our way to Valdez. This is absolutely one of our favorite drives in all of Alaska. I would drive down to Valdez just to come through this canyon. It's absolutely amazing. We are down here just outside of Valdez. We're trying to find some riverbed camping. It's just the river's kind of crazy right now. There is this access, but you can't tell from this camera angle. Like, I know we could get down here, but I just don't think this is the spot. So we'll keep hunting. Look at how beautiful that water is though. Coming out of that canyon. It's glacial water. Man, I am just absolutely loving being back in Alaska. So much fun.
We're at our third river spot we're trying to get. Brian's just walking it. I don't know if he's coming back happy or not. Mike got skunked again.
That's a no-go. That tree tunnel gets very narrow and low, and I wouldn't want to have to back out of that. So I think there's a lot of potential at this river. I just don't know if this is the time of year. I don't know if the river's rising or going down. So I talked about a spot earlier that I was like, it was a little too close to the main water for me, not knowing if it's rising or getting lower. So I'm gonna check out a couple other things and figure something out.
Yeah, river spot might be a bust right now. Well guys, after 8 hours of driving around in the van today, 4 hours of which I'm not even exaggerating, we're driving around looking for dispersed camping in and outside of Valdez. We're at an RV park. We are at Eagles Rest RV Park here in Valdez. We were here last year when we came and visited. Absolutely love this RV park. It's nice and it's right within town and walking distance to just about everything. But there's just not a lot of great dispersed camping options here in Valdez. We tried to do the same thing last year, not quite as extensively as we did today, but ran into some similar problems. So it's starting to get late. We're starting to get hungry and decided, you know what? RV park for the night doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world, especially because it's been a few days since we took a shower. So we're going to go ahead, take advantage of that, and then tomorrow we will try and find something else again. But this RV park does happen to be pretty close to a great local brewery. Hi, Wesley.
There is a really awesome food truck out here attached to this brewery. We did not get a chance to try this out last year. I wasn't sure if I wanted halibut or not. I've been dreaming about this for almost a year now. Doesn't it look so good? It looks like little chicken tenders. Halibut basket. Oh my god. The breading is perfect. The halibut is like chicken. Like super tender chicken. And I don't know if it's the sauce or the breading. There's something tangy in there. I would honestly come back to Valdez just to get the halibut basket. Oh my gosh. Babe, get some.
Something that really stuck with us when we visited Valdez the year before was just how much we learned about the Valdez oil spill when we took a tour of the Prince William Sound on the famous Lulu Belle. Sure, we had learned about this when we were younger in textbooks and pictures, but being here was a completely different experience for us. It really wasn't just a glacier wildlife cruise, although there was also plenty of that with puffins and otters and whales, but a real-life peek into the dark past when this area experienced one of the most devastating man-made environmental disasters in U.S. history. In March 1989, the Exxon Valdez tanker ran aground and spilled millions of gallons of crude oil into this beautiful sound. The cleanup efforts took years, and it was uncertain if this area would be able to make a comeback. Decades later, though, it's amazing to see wildlife not only living here again, but also thriving, and that is all thanks to the amazing people, thousands of people that put in the time and effort to really get this area back to the pristine condition that it once was. After Valdez, a place we had visited the prior year was calling to us for some unfinished business. Located deep inside Wrangell St. Elias National Park on a very rough 60-mile dirt road, you'll find a unique town frozen in time.
We are on our way to McCarthy. This is a notoriously bad road. Most rental companies in Alaska won't even let you take their vehicles on this road. So we are going to air down for comfort. All right, I'm just waiting for the tire pressure to get down where I want it, and we are about there. All right, we are good to go. Let's get to McCarthy.
Bursting apart at the sea, he brings yesterday nearer. You know the dozen star of the screen. Yes, I know.
McCarthy is for lovers.
Aww.
Where I stood, the lovely lady's face.
just got to McCarthy, actually just outside of McCarthy. There's a campground here. It's called Base Camp Chena Hot, and it's $35 a night. And we're gonna go try to see if we can get the same spot we had last year. Had a killer view. Let's see. It's nasty. Looks like we are going to get our original spot.
Heck yeah!
Home for the next 2 nights. Lakefront property, Glacial Lake. Look how beautiful it is today. Let's make sure Wes approves. Bit of a yard sale in here.
It always is. Feeling really, really grateful right now to have gotten this spot. Timing was everything. As we were pulling into the campground, another van was leaving, and they actually flagged us down and were like, you guys gotta go take our spot. This happens to be the same spot we were at last year, as Brian mentioned, but if they had still been here, then we never would have gotten this, and this is definitely the best spot at Base Camp Chena Hot. So from here, the town of McCarthy is just a little bit over a mile away. You actually have to cross over a footbridge to get there. There's no cars that are allowed in the town of McCarthy unless you're a resident or it's a shuttle bus. And in McCarthy, I think in the summer, maybe there's like 100 people that live there seasonally. But in the winter, I saw online that it gets down to 2 people that brave it out here for the winter. So really, really small town, but funky. And then right here behind me, you've got a couple of glaciers. You've got the Chena Hot Glacier and the Root Glacier as well. And then the Chena Hot Mine, the old historic mine, sits up on the hill there. We're gonna explore those in a couple of days. Super excited to be back here. And we've got some unfinished business with the Root Glacier that we're excited to take you guys along for. Today it looks like it might be kind of an inside work day. Maybe we'll go into town and see what's going on in a little bit, but we're gonna just play it by ear. In the meantime, this is a really cool, beautiful spot.
We just crossed the footbridge, heading into McCarthy, and this is the only way into McCarthy unless you're a resident.
So this is the 1/4 mile shortcut into McCarthy. Whoop. There are some happy dogs.
McCarthy might be one of the most dog-friendly towns we've ever encountered. This right here is Kimmy, and she runs the town. She also stole Wes's heart last year, so saying he was excited to be reunited is an understatement.
How many breaks can one heart take? Oh, and how many hearts do you want to break? You made a fool of me, and it hurt.
Wes, is that your girlfriend from last year? Well, that was fun. We had a couple drinks and some dinner at the Golden Saloon. There's not a lot else going on in McCarthy right now. It's a Sunday. It's kind of quiet. But Wes did get to reconnect with the love of his life from last year. So fun to watch him. He got so excited, and now he's heartbroken again.
How many times you made
Wes loves a good towel.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What you got going on out here?
Little breaky.
Wow. Spoiled. Wait, you don't even like eggs.
I know.
You did such a good job with that.
Your liquid chicken's looking good. No liquid chicken for me.
Had a good breakfast, and now we are ready to hike up to Root Glacier, which is right back here. But first, we've got to walk across the footbridge and then get on a shuttle up to the old mining town of Kodiak, which will take like 4 miles, like 8 miles total round trip off of the hike. The trailhead actually does start up at the old mining town of Kodiak, so we got to head into McCarthy and catch that shuttle.
So this is the old mining ghost town of Kodiak, and the trailhead to the glacier is at the end of this town.
Operator, or could you help me place this
Getting all the bug spray.
See, the number on the matchbook is old and faded. Living in LA with my best old ex-friend Ray. Gosh, she said she knew well and sometimes hated.
All right, we're almost to the toe of the Root Glacier. So in these big piles of dirt, they are actually ice too. Under this dirt is solid ice, makes its way all the way down to where we're camped. And it's really cool to hear it calving into the lake or the river we're at. But yeah, this is actually all ice.
On the blow, I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real. But that's not the way it feels.
After about 2.5 miles, we've made it to the descent into the toe.
Operator, or could you help me place this call? 'Cause I can't read the number that
Boy.
you just gave me.
Micro spikes.
There's something in my eyes, you know it happens every time. I think about the love that I thought would save me. But isn't there?
This is pretty cool. We've never actually walked on top of a glacier. This is solid ice for who knows how deep, and it just gets deeper. We have walked under a glacier. We did that in Iceland a few years ago. Definitely check that video out. We'll put a link at the top. That's also what got us started in van life. But how cool is this, babe?
That's not the way it feels. No, 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 no.
Definitely not doing the moonwalk here.
That's not the way it feels. Operator, well, let's forget about this call. No one there, I really wanted to talk.
Decided why not. Don't know when the next time will be when we're on top of a glacier and we get a chance to drink probably the purest water on the planet.
You can keep it down.
Oh, it's ice cold too.
Cheers.
Pretty good.
Isn't that the way they say it goes?
Surprisingly not earthy. When we drank the water after we did the under glacier tour in Iceland, that was definitely pretty earthy. That's really good. I am so glad we came back to McCarthy to do this and get redemption, since we didn't get the chance to hike Root Glacier last year. And unfortunately, the sad thing is, who knows how much longer glacier access like this is going to be around.
All right, so last night, after we rinsed off, we were planning on having a Dutch oven dinner over the fire. Unfortunately, the wind picked up and we ended up pretty much having just kind of a no frills inside the van night. Plus we were really tired from the hike earlier. And as much as we wish we could just stay here for a few more days, McCarthy actually looks like it has a really fun 4th of July. We have something else planned, so we're going to get packed up and get heading down the road. We are at the end of the McCarthy Road. You're gonna air back up. Is it necessary to air down for the McCarthy Road? Absolutely not. I do it for comfort. If I could give any suggestions, I would say the road's just bad and it's probably always changing. So if you're gonna take this road, do the speed limit, just know there's gonna be potholes, washboard, can be rough, but we're gonna air back up now and then we're gonna head into town, get supplies. We have a really fun event planned for the 4th of July.
We were making our way to Glacier View, where something happens each year on the 4th of July that might be one of the most Alaskan things you can do. Watch people launch old beater cars off a 300-foot cliff. There's a parade of all the cars about to be launched. There's bush planes landing in the middle of a glacial river. There's costumes like this astronaut floating downstream. There's a whole lot of Alaskan pride. But most of all, people come here for the pure carnage.
We've got 38 cars this year. First car's about to launch.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It was their dream to own a limo, and they got a limo, and now their desire was to send it over a cliff on the 4th of July in Glacier View, Alaska on 4th of July 2025.
This is pretty much a carnival. Is it a carnival without a corn dog? That was hot. Reindeer corn dog.
At the end of the day, we'll sum it up with 3 words. Win in Alaska. Continuing on the Glen Highway, you'll make your way to Palmer, which is one of our favorite places to resupply. It has just about everything, and if it doesn't, Wasilla is just a short drive down the road with some of the bigger box stores. Palmer's a cute small town, and in our opinion, way better than going into Anchorage. And just outside of town, there's also a really great free dispersed camping area to just kind of reset and call home for a couple of nights. While we could easily spend much more time on this beautiful riverbed, our favorite place in Alaska is coming up next, the Kenai Peninsula. We quickly fell in love with the Kenai and learned if you only have the opportunity to visit one area in Alaska, this should be it. It isn't just beautiful here. It feels alive. In one day, you can stand in front of a glacier, jump into a turquoise lake, and watch bald eagles catch their dinner. Everything here awakens your senses and reminds you of how small you are and how lucky you are to be right here, right now. The first place to visit on the Kenai, and also the jumping off point for Kenai Fjords National Park, is the small fishing town of Seward.
In our 2 summers exploring Alaska, we managed to visit Seward 4 different times, with each trip bringing its own adventure, old and new friends, but one constant remained: epic camping with insane views.
Be mindful of seasickness.
Today we're doing a tour of the beautiful Kenai National Park.
The crowd and plays so loud, baby, it's the guitar man. Who's gonna steal the show? You know, baby, it's the guitar man. He can make you love, he can make you cry. He will bring you down and he'll get you high.
Well, I'm just taking a hike to harvest some glacier this week. That's Isaac back there on the right hand side. It's a real athletic jumper you can try to get glacier face.
Night after night, who treats you right, baby, it's the guitar man. Who's on the radio? You go listen to the guitar man. Then he comes to town, and you see his face.
Got some good to go.
Look at that wave.
It's so cool.
Wow, you guys are spoiled rotten. That does not happen every day. We just got here, unbelievable. Welcome to the Denali Glacier, everybody. That was a real warm welcome from icy glacier right there.
He can make you love, he can get you high. He will bring you down and he'll make you cry. Something keeps him moving, but no one seems to know what it is that makes him go. Then the lights begin to flicker and the sound is getting dim. The voice begins to falter and the crowds are getting thin. But he never seems to notice, he's just got to find.
So what you guys think?
It did not suck. It was quite lovely. And I got to see some whales.
If boats aren't your thing, another way to experience Kenai National Park is by land, and a couple popular hikes are hiking to the Exit Glacier or Harding Ice Field.
They have all these markers on the trail, even on the road in here, that show you where the glacier was during that year. It's pretty crazy. I think it started late 1800s, I think was the first sign we saw.
This is where the glacier was in 2005, and here we are in 2024. Crazy to see how much that's moved in 20 years. How much do you think that is? How many feet?
Half a mile.
Sad, but sure is a stunning viewpoint up here.
We've been in Seward now for a few nights. We spent 2 of them on this amazing riverbed just outside of town. Really cool free spot. After the glacier tour yesterday, we decided to stay in this campground. It's in Seward, right in town. It's about $50 a night, but it's on the water. It's beautiful. And now it's time to start making our way towards Homer.
A place we've returned to again and again, half an hour north of Homer, and has some really great free dispersed camping right on the beach. We've also been told there's some pretty good halibut fishing, and we've seen people successfully land them here, although the only thing we've managed to catch here is sculpin. What we have found here, though, is the ability to slow down, watching bald eagles catch and eat their dinner on the beach, all with some incredible sunsets and volcanoes in the distance. So we have made our way to Homer, and today we're doing something fun. We've never done it, but it has come highly recommended by locals that we've met in the area. And we are taking a water taxi from the Homer Spit across to Katmai Bay State Park, and there's a little glacier hike that we're gonna do. So I think this is gonna be a cool day.
Easy on your job, eh?
We've been hiking for a couple of miles, and we're just about to this glacier lake that we're going to, and it's so crazy. It like seriously dropped like 10 degrees, and we've noticed that on the glacier cruises that we've done too. It's like a real thing. When you get close to a glacier, it gets a lot cooler and feels good.
Feels so good. Got some cocktail ice. I forgot the cocktails though.
Do you want to go in the water? Yeah? What do you think? Maybe a stick. Good boy. Such awesome views.
Wow.
This is so cool. Smells good too.
Ooh, I shouldn't be filming. I should be watching my step. We're just waiting for our water taxi ride back. That was a 4 mile point to point hike. All the elevation was at the end, and then we lost all elevation at the end. But the last half of that trail was absolutely beautiful, and yeah, now I'm just relaxing and not hiking.
They constantly clean themselves to keep their poor water pure.
Today has been a pretty fun day. That hike was incredible. Loved that it was like a little through hike, a little point to point. You got dropped off at one spot, you got picked up at another. Even though we did have a little bit of engine trouble on the water taxi back, it was supposed to be like 30 minutes. Ended up being an hour because he had to limp back. But still very, very cool. And then once we got back to the dock here, we went to the Salty Dog, which is a landmark kind of dive bar here in Homer for a drink. If you've ever seen the Discovery show Deadliest Catch, that was featured a lot in that show. And then tonight is a very special evening. It is summer solstice, so the longest day of the year. Sun doesn't set here in Homer until 11:29. So it's known as the midnight sun here in Alaska. I don't know if we're gonna make it all the way to 11:29 for sunset, but we will try. But we have something really fun planned for tomorrow, which is why I don't think we'll be making it to that, because we have to wake up at like 5 a.m.
Good morning. It's about 5:30. It's Nick and Sarah's last day here, so we are going to spend the day halibut fishing. Pre-prepped some coffee last night and also some pancakes because Nick and Sarah's rental van has a microwave in it. So that would be nice to have a nice, quick, warm breakfast.
Homer's known as the halibut fishing capital of the world. And while we had fun out on the water that day with our friends, let's just say the fishing was a little slow this past year. But when we went the previous year, things were hot. So hot, we decided to take on the Bite the Butt challenge.
Heck yeah.
Which we 10 out of 10 do not recommend. There's also another side to Homer, a darker side, and not one we were expecting to learn so much about when the emergency alerts came in on July 16th, 2025.
7.2 earthquake just hit outside of Kodiak Island. Got about 1 to 2 hours before the tsunami actually hits here. They said it's pretty standard procedure, not to panic, but we are going to head to higher ground.
If that tsunami goes up above that cliff, like, that's going to be one of the worst ones in history.
Yeah, I think we get out of town. Then we're definitely higher ground at the end of Homer.
See if everyone can play nice and let us out. It is mass exodus right now. Holy cow. See if they can let us out. Yeah, thank you, Volvo.
These guys are going to tough it out.
Or they're not there. There could be people out fishing.
It's mass exodus here. We've probably got another mile till we're off to Spit, but everyone seems to be playing nice until things get a little too late, I guess. But yeah, there's probably still some people out on boats. There's a lot of campers here that don't look like they're gonna move, and they'll probably be fine, but I wouldn't want to wait to find out. Especially right here, this narrow section's low. Probably at this point only 20 feet above the natural water line. So yeah, you don't want to hang out here.
It's not something super devastating, and everything we just left is still there tomorrow.
Probably got about half an hour, 45 minutes before this thing comes through. We've still got a couple miles to get out of town, up to high ground. We're not going to go to the high school where they said to go, because that's where everybody's going, and we were told it can get really congested. So I think we're going to stick to our plan and just get out of town, which is high ground also, and then make our way to our next destination, which will not be close to the ocean.
The tsunami warning was just downgraded to a tsunami advisory. The areas along the coast that they anticipated seeing wave activity this early haven't seen any big changes yet. The Weather Channel is looking at the buoys, and again, nothing has risen above normal sea level. And so they are anticipating that the plates that moved during the earthquake moved side by side instead of one on top of the other, which is what one on top of the other is what creates a bigger wave in the ocean.
Copy that. Baby waves.
And now back to Brandon with sports.
So that's really good news. It was kind of devastating to think about how impactful that tsunami could be, especially where we just were on the Homer Spit. Like, you're only a few feet above sea level at that point, but we're still going to continue on. I think we're going to go ahead and go inland, find somewhere else to camp, away from the water, away from the crazy, and we might have a pretty cool spot in mind.
We got the spot. This is like the spot, I believe, in Alaska to come camping for a couple nights. That beautiful lake. Let's see if Wes remembers Emily's favorite spot of all time.
Hi, buddy. This afternoon was a little chaotic and definitely not what we were planning on, but I cannot complain at all because, as Brian mentioned, this is one of my favorite campsites of all time. We were here last year and we had the same exact spot, and I just can never get over the color of this water, the beautiful green mountains behind us, and you're on this awesome gravel beach. It is just absolutely stunning. Good news is we did hear also that the tsunami warning was downgraded to an advisory, so I think everyone is safe here, but this really worked out for us. We're gonna get some dinner going, and tonight, for the first time ever, gonna try and cook some bread in the Dutch oven. This could go either way, and hopefully it goes the way we want to. Look how good that looks. Oh my gosh.
It's jiggly.
It looks like sourdough.
Queenie has a starter that her grandmother started.
Wow.
You guys make bread?
God, I would. I make beer bread, but that doesn't require any sort of starter or any sort of knowledge about how to make it.
We would do it, but I just think because we're chasing our...
Yeah.
He said, look, I put my closet in cold water.
Wait, this bread has cheese on it?
Yeah. And green chili. Alright, let's see it. Oh, yeah.
It's light though and fluffy.
Totally.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, I fell a little bit.
It's okay.
Friends with snacks.
This has been such an amazing evening. Even though things don't always work out, like getting evacuated from a town because of a tsunami warning, We made our way to our favorite place in Alaska, and it's really special to be able to share it with our friends before they go home. So we're just gonna finish up dishes tonight and then see you guys in the morning. Wow, it is absolutely spectacular this morning. I think it's going to be a really, really nice day here. First, we're going to make some coffee, and unfortunately, our tea kettle sprung a leak the other day. There was some water in it. It was right up here in the cabinet, and the water leaked out. And when I went to make some coffee, I realized that a seal had broken somewhere in that. So just gonna boil some water. That'll work. That lake was so calm this morning compared to when we got here yesterday. It was a little windy, pretty cloudy. I think there might be a little bit of a polar plunge happening today.
You say that now.
Can we talk our friends into it?
Yeah.
It's their idea. Let's make some breakfast. Would you like an egg?
Please.
All right.
She gets what she gets.
Sun's out. I think it's time to go swimming.
Don't want you nagging, don't want to fight. We want you in your love tonight. Oh, 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 baby. Don't want you lagging in your love. You know always have to show.
It's only her reflection, huh?
Oh, 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 baby. Keep me right. Well, my baby, I'm almost crazy. I can't resist your loving kiss, so treat me right. You always treat me bad. There is no need to make me sad. Oh, oh, oh.
Are we ready for this? We're jumping in. It's really cold.
I'm not getting my face wet.
Well, now how my baby, I'm almost crazy. I can't resist your loving kiss, so treat me right. You always treat me bad. There is no need to make me sad. Oh, 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 baby, treat me right, treat me right, treat me right.
This might be one of my favorite days ever. You guys know that that's the treat van.
Chicken parm on the Blackstone with pasta? Forget about it.
So, YouTuber confession time. We weren't actually planning on filming anything the last couple of days. We were actually thinking we were going to be hanging out in Homer, waiting for our next adventure to play out, and it was just going to be some downtime doing some chores. But then when that tsunami warning hit and we decided to come here to one of our favorite camp spots, we just had to share it with you guys. We're currently on a wait list to see if we can get on a ferry. So today we're gonna head back into Homer and see if we can pick up that ferry tomorrow. It's about a 2.5 hour drive. We'll get there this afternoon and spend the night. And we've got some chores that we need to do, catch up on laundry and stuff. But for right now, we've got to leave here. We also have to say goodbye to Brandon and Mariah.
No, would have been.
Already very much looking forward to that, because that's going to be like here before we know it.
We're the champion.
Thank you. Oh, buddy, that's a good one. Groceries done, water done, fuel done, Gertie's clean. Let's get to camp, get some showers, and hopefully we can get on a ferry tomorrow. We're at the ferry terminal. We got here early today in hopes that we'd be the first on the wait list, which we are. And now we are actually playing the waiting game to see if there's going to be room for us on the ferry. There's a lot of anxiety right now, but I think we have a pretty good chance. We were told we had a pretty good chance, so fingers crossed we make it to this island today.
Quick update. We've been here for about an hour since we've gotten here. A couple more cars have come and are actually now parked behind us in the standby lane. So we're first, which is great, and we're glad we got here when we did. We still have no idea though if we're going to get on or not. The ferry doesn't leave for another hour and a half. So I think they'll probably start loading up soon, and then hopefully we know, but whew, I got some butterflies, a little bit of anxiety. Really hoping that we get to go here. We've wanted to go to this place for a really long time.
Port Authority's coming to talk to us. Hopefully he's got some good news.
You want to go get your ticket, please?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Do we both need to go in, or can she just go in?
Just one of them with everybody's ID.
Okay.
Just one of them with everybody's ID.
Thank you. We're going to Kodiak.
Kodiak had been a dream of ours ever since we first started traveling in our van. It lies 136 nautical miles from mainland Alaska and requires a 10-hour ferry ride to reach the remote island. We thought the Kenai was mind-blowing, but we had no idea what we were in store for. So we made it on the ferry. That was crazy, stressful trying to get into the car deck. We had to like parallel park, which was nuts. But we made it. Those guys down there could get cars in anywhere, I'm pretty sure. And from here, we've got about a 9.5 hour sail over to Kodiak. We'll get in at like 8:15 tonight. So I'm just glad to be going.
I don't think their big, scary eagle thing is doing anything to keep the birds off.
We're on a boat. We're on a boat. Just getting ready to sit down for lunch, and then this happened.
I heard a click. I don't know if they're vocal like humpbacks are.
Ready? We always get really excited when we see wildlife up here. Today we got to see about 5 or 6 different pods of orcas, and that was really cool. We went to Vancouver Island a couple years ago. We didn't see any. We came up here to Alaska last year, didn't see any. So to see them today, right before lunch, was extra special, really cool. And maybe we'll see something else today. The ferry cafeteria is actually pretty good.
Kodiak in approximately 30 minutes.
We're here. We made it to Kodiak Island. This is pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Hi, buddy. Hello.
Hi, baby. This like car elevator thing that turns is pretty fascinating.
We got the fancy spinny elevator thing all to ourselves. Gertie's big. Gertie's a big old bee. She got a big booty. It's all good, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ride with us.
Thanks.
We'll be back. See ya. All right, it's 10 o'clock at night. It's been a really long day. We need to get Wes fed. We literally drove 10 minutes from where the ferry dropped us off to this campground. So we're gonna take care of the kid, call it a night, but we are really excited to explore Kodiak Island for the next few days. Well, I was in here finishing up some dishes, and all of a sudden the water stopped coming out of the faucet. Blue light, that's our water pump. It's not doing anything. It should do something. Yeah. Water pump's out. I'll go back there and check the fuse, make sure it's not the fuse. But this really complicates things, especially this week. We're on a really remote island. Yeah, we're on a tight schedule. And when you live in a van full time, you need your water. So I think today we're actually gonna have to go into town and see if we can't find a pump. Fingers crossed. But I'm gonna check that fuse first. Pump is done. I think, though, because we are on an island with a lot of boats, a lot of marine type stuff, I hope we can go into town and actually like go to a marine RV store, like a parts store, and find a water transfer pump. So I think I'm gonna get packed up back here, and then we're gonna head into town and see if we can find a new pump.
Awesome. Thank you guys for waiting.
No problem.
Yeah, these are not for you, buddy. I'm sorry.
More dog treats for the road.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, buddy. Look at that. see, eat that in my crotch, huh? No dignity.
Stalin? Stalin?
Wait for the blessing. So.
Strike two. We're gonna go down to the docks and see if we can find like an actual marine outfitter.
Turn left onto Center Avenue. The destination is on your right.
So this is basically what we need, but I don't think this is going to fit. I thought this might work until I saw the price. And it's definitely a more heavy duty pump, and I think it might be a little overkill, but yeah, we're not spending $500 on a pump we can get for like 80. One last try, we found a marine supply store. It's like, it looks like a more of a Napa for boats, so fingers crossed.
Thanks.
I think we may have found a winner. We'll make this work.
A lot cheaper than the other one, too.
Mm-hmm. All right, got our pump. Now, unfortunately, we need to go dump our fresh water so I can swap this out with our old one.
Is there a bear?
Yeah, or a wolf. I think it's a bear.
Let's go look at the bear! Let's go look. Bear! Kodiak bear!
Heck yeah. Pretty cool. We haven't even been here for a full day and we saw our first Kodiak bear.
Yes!
Apparently they are late this year. They haven't been out like they normally would be grazing out here. So hopefully the next few days we see more of them. Now we know where to look.
That was so cool. And to be completely honest, the number one reason we came to Kodiak was for the experience, but to see bears. Kodiak brown bears are the largest bears in the entire world. You might be saying, oh no, Emily, polar bears are bigger, but polar bears are actually classified as marine mammals, which makes the subspecies of bears that live here on Kodiak the biggest bears. It's because they have so much food here, so much salmon. Well, this guy here was not that big. He was still a Kodiak bear. And we were talking to one of the locals that lives here. She's been here since 1982. She came for like a 3-month visit and just never left, and I don't blame her. It is absolutely stunning here. But she said the really big guys stay further inland, and she said that's how they stay really big, is by staying away from places like this. But I hope we get to see more, and I hope we get to see a really big one.
Rawr.
Rawr.
We need to find a place to change our water pump now, and we've just been driving and we just happened to see that Kodiak bear, which was awesome. And now we're kind of like, you know what, the water pump can wait till a little bit later today because this drive is just so beautiful. Like I feel like I'm in Hawaii. Minus the snow on some of the mountains out there, I wouldn't know the difference. It's just, this is a beautiful, beautiful island. We are at our harvest toast for the night. Kodiak Island Brewing Company. Super cool brewery. Right now we're going to empty out the garage so I can swap out our water pump, and then we are going to go enjoy a very tasty beverage. This is why we love Alaska. There's a super cool local here. He has a shop. He saw that we had everything pulled out of the back of the van. We told him we were replacing our pump. He's got these really cool butt connectors for us that are solder, heat shrink. He's like, anything you need, come ask. And yeah, that's one of the big reasons why I love Alaska so much. Everyone helps each other out. There's a super helpful information center, visitor center here in Kodiak. We picked up this map. The lady in there was really nice. She gave us a lot of information on where to go camping, and she also gave us her spot, her personal favorite, that we're going to go check out today. If you come to Kodiak Island, they are known for their salmon berries. Apparently, if you collect them, you can actually make money on Facebook and stuff. But we're gonna pick some today to put in some pancakes. They look a lot like raspberries, except these bushes aren't spicy. They don't have thorns on them.
First time trying a salmon berry right off the bush. Let's see how it is. You guys. I don't know if those are going in pancakes. They might not last that long. Those are so good.
Not too tart?
No, they're not. It's really mild, kind of like a raspberry. Very much so like a raspberry, but almost like a cross between like a raspberry and a strawberry. Like if I had to describe it. Yum.
Nice little bounty. We don't want to be greedy and take too many, but I think these are gonna make some nice pancakes. Maybe mix them with some blueberries we have.
Yum. Roadblock. Hi guys.
You shall not pass.
The gatekeeper.
Hey girl. We made it to the spot that the nice lady at the visitor center told us was her favorite spot. It is absolutely beautiful up here. It's bright and calm today, but it is really only kind of one spot with a fire pit. And if someone else shows up, then I think we'll be sharing this whole area. So we might go down the road. There's a beach we were looking at yesterday that we might try to camp at. But we're still gonna let Wes out, let him stretch his legs, and just take in this beautiful view for a few. What does this remind you of?
What you got? No! Everything. My world. Whew. Okay guys, you know I have my iris tattoos on my arm, and there's 3 of them. One for Brian because he brought me purple irises on our first date. One for my mom because she absolutely loved irises. And the other one for my dad because he loved to paint irises. He was a painter. So this is a sign, a very cool sign.
Super beautiful spot, but probably not our spot. I don't know if we'd be comfortable letting Wes run around up here with all the cliffs. So we're gonna go down to the beach. All right, we're gonna go for it. Got some deep sand. Gonna air the tires down. I think getting into camp's gonna be fairly straightforward. Getting out might be a little sporty whenever we decide to leave, but I don't think we can't pass this up, right?
No, this is too cool.
Pretty cool. Camp for the night, Kodiak Island style. Let's see if Wes approves.
Hi, beach dog. We just find paradise on Kodiak Island.
I mean, I don't hate it. I do love it.
This is not what I picture when I picture Alaska. The sand is so warm on my feet, feels so good, like perfect weather. Kodiak is actually known for being a much rainier part of Alaska, and we are just so lucky, so fortunate right now. We've got this whole beach to ourselves. I can't see anyone in either direction. This is seriously such an amazing place, such an amazing day. You know, I've talked to a few locals that came out here to do some work, and they just never left Kodiak. I can really see why. What are your impressions of Kodiak Island?
Oh man, I really didn't know what to expect when we got here. Like, the whole island is really clean. They take a lot of pride in this place. Everyone's been friendly. There's a lot more infrastructure here than I thought there would be. And then you have places like this. I know it's not always sunny here, but I feel like I'm in Hawaii. I don't feel like I'm in Alaska right now. It's pretty crazy.
Grass grows mile high. Hold me till the moon falls from the sky. Remember I told you I'd never let go of you. Hold me dear until the end of time. when liars speak truth and beggars can choose.
5 more.
Whatever you do.
Got some green onions. And, of course, for me, 505 green chili. Chili. Some bacon bits that were also cooked on the Blackstone. And, I don't know what's a baked potato without some ranch. How am I supposed to eat this thing? It's a little bit of everything. Hell yeah! Campfire baked potatoes on the beach. So, as much as we do love this campsite, it's probably my favorite campsite of all time. The tide's coming up. We've got another couple hours of it rising. It's only supposed to come up another 2 feet, but it is starting to eat into this ledge right here. And we're probably only 20 feet from the ledge. So we're going to err on the side of caution, pack up, get out of here, just get a little bit higher ground. And it's going to be a little sporty getting out of here. I know we both want to sleep tonight, listening to the ocean, not worrying about if it's going to come up and carry us away. We'll probably be fine, but let's move on and find a different spot, higher ground, and then we can have a nice peaceful sleep. Go Gertie go. Sometimes she makes it too easy. We're up on high ground. We're feeling pretty good tonight. Unless there was like a tsunami like the other day, which our phones would notify us, hopefully, we should be more than safe up here. So we're gonna get a good night's sleep. Good night. Since we are on Kodiak Island, we thought, why not make Kodiak pancakes with our salmon berries that we picked yesterday. And have you guys tried this stuff? We're not sponsored, but this is our new favorite to-go pancake mix. It's a protein mix. Super easy to make though. You just put in your pancake powder, add water, that's it.
Wow.
Oh, it's so good.
Got my favorite maple syrup. Thank you, Canada. Salmon berries are really good. These pancakes just come out perfect every time.
What a spot this has been. This has been dreamy. I really hope, and I was saying this to Brian earlier today, I mean it with all my heart, that in our lifetime we get to come back to this spot and enjoy it again. It really is something special. For now though, we're gonna go ahead and move on, and then we're gonna find somewhere else to call home for the evening. But first, we gotta get Gertie back here aired back up.
All right. Let's hit the road. Camping options on Kodiak Island are pretty good. There's a couple state parks you can pay to camp at. There's free camping, like what we did last night at the beach. And then there's a whole bunch of native land where you pay 15 bucks a night. It's dispersed and it is spread out everywhere. And like right now, we're right here. We've got neighbors like half a mile away, and we really haven't seen anyone else. So I'm digging the camping on Kodiak Island. Ever ollie a piece of driftwood, bro? Don't ask me to do a kickflip.
No kickflips, huh? Today we are doing a hike at Abercrombie State Historical Park, and according to AllTrails, this is a 2.5 mile loop, about 577 feet of elevation gain. This is actually the state park we stayed at the first night when we got in on the ferry, and we had to come back. It's just so beautiful. The mossy forests here, absolutely gorgeous. Such cool orchids to see in such an alpine environment.
Didn't even have to pack snacks today. Salmonberry?
Don't mind if I do. So good.
This trail has it all. Has the ocean, has snacks, wildflowers, and Gertie. So, the siren just went off, and coincidentally there was an earthquake last week near this island that caused a tsunami warning. And it went off for a few seconds, and then you heard the chime at the end. So I think they were just doing a test, midweek test. A little unnerving for a second, huh?
Yeah. Well, especially because that was just last week. We got evacuated.
Yeah. But
Okay.
just a test.
The chime was very friendly at the end.
We now return you to your regularly brought
Scheduled programming.
I can't talk. All right, getting ready to board, saying bye to Kodiak. All right, ready to check out this.
Yeah, we've never been in a room on a ferry before. This is the first. Don't expect a cruise ship room.
What? No vanity?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, just vanity.
Okay. Okay. You want top or bottom?
I mean, it says no small children in upper bunks.
I saw that. So, can you be up there?
I don't know. I'll try not to fall out.
Welcome aboard.
Pretty bittersweet, but something tells me we will be back.
It is 7:37.
I don't know about you, babe. I didn't get much sleep last night. It was rocking and rolling. At one point, I thought I was going to straight up roll out of bed.
Kodiak was a really big adventure for us, and we're so grateful to have seen that one Kodiak bear that we did. Another big adventure in Alaska that we crossed off our bucket list the previous year and also centered around bears was a trip to Katmai National Park. Katmai is located on the Alaska Peninsula, and the only way to get there is by air or boat. There are a few different ways, but we opted for taking a plane from Anchorage to King Salmon and then a water taxi into Brooks Camp. Once you get to Brooks Camp, you'll have to attend a mandatory bear safety school, which is really only like 20 minutes, but super educational and definitely necessary because bears are really anywhere. We had scored some last-minute permits to camp there, so after we were educated on bear safety, what to do and what not to do, we headed to the camping area.
The trick is you open the gate, you walk in the gate without touching the spicy strips. The most important part, you shut the gate behind you, because a couple weeks ago someone didn't, and a bear came in and caused complete havoc. Mayhem.
This is going to be home for the next couple of nights. Found a nice secluded spot here inside the electric fence. You can kind of see it behind me. And we're going to set up our tent. And then this is our tag that we will put on the tent to make sure that they know that we've got our permit and we're legit. And we're going to go exploring.
They have these gates on these platforms that are used to keep the bears from coming into camp or passing people on the platform, because then you would be way too close to a bear. It's supposed to be 50 yards at all times, which isn't always possible, but this platform is about 8 feet wide, so I would want to pass a bear on one of these.
Speaking of bears, there's one right there. Let's go see him.
Katmai has one of the highest concentrations of brown bears in the world, with over 2,000 bears calling this place home. It's largely due to them being protected here, as well as some great salmon fishing, which this one is demonstrating using the snorkel technique, and I absolutely love it. Bears and fishermen both share this river, but the main attraction here in Katmai is undoubtedly Brooks Falls, where you'll see bears hanging out, waiting for a fish to jump right into their mouth. Since we were here in late August, which is between salmon runs, we didn't see a lot of fish jumping up the falls, but we were able to see our fair share of bears, and the best part, crowds were minimal compared to peak salmon run season when you have to take turns viewing them here on the platform.
What'd you think about your first Brooks Falls experience?
I mean, that was spectacular. To be that close to something so wild and see them in their natural habitat like that, doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing, just completely focused on the fish, and they don't care about you.
No, one kept looking at us.
Yeah.
He kept giving us this side eye.
And he was having trouble catching salmon, and at one point I was like, What if he's like thinking to himself, like, we'd be a lot easier to catch?
Pretty neat. Pretty wild.
Yeah, it's not quite 8, but honestly, there's really nothing else to do here, so
I'm gonna take a nap all night.
I'm gonna go in the tent. See you in the morning.
All right, we survived last night, even with all the scary noises that kept Emily up most of the night. I think she was making most of the scary noises.
Stop.
It's raining today, so we're gonna go see if we can hop on a tour somewhere so I'm not just stuck in the tent all day. Let's go see what we can find.
Along the lake out here, it leads you to this area. Why it's called Research Bay, no one seems to know. But that's what it is. There's some areas that you can actually camp in those islands. Tomorrow, actually, I'll be going out to one of the islands and staying in maybe for like a couple of days. So it's a little scary when you're out there.
After our tour and hike, we headed to Brooks Lodge to dry out by the fire, make some new friends, and eat some dinner.
Dude. Bro.
Got my face.
You, bro. You got like some salmon, like just right like there, living in your beard.
They're gonna come visit me tonight. My bear friends. It's sockeye, and I love it. So good. There's also some really good flank steak. It's got some like Mediterranean flavors. These carrots are awesome. Like we missed breakfast today, and then we went on this excursion and missed lunch. This dinner has been like $42 a person, but all you can eat, and it's really good.
After a long, pretty rainy day, this was the perfect way to end it.
I don't know what the rangers keep in this ranger station, but it is nothing but claw marks and chewies. Do they store all the ramen in there? The donuts that don't get eaten? This is insane. That's all bear chunks. I wish I had some ramen. We survived bear country. And the bugs, kind of.
A little. But it was a total blast. Definitely would do this again. Next time, I would probably want to fly in versus taking the water taxi. Waiting for the water taxi now. Then we'll be back in King Salmon, back to Anchorage, then back to pick up Wes from the dog sitter that he's at.
There's a bear back here. I don't know if you can see it with the phone. He's swimming. Yeah, we saw quite a few. It's been pretty awesome.
It was time to continue on our journey, which would start taking us northeast to a completely different part of Alaska. New landscapes, new wildlife, and new adventures. But first up, the beautiful Hatcher Pass. We've been here a few different times in different months, and our favorite time to visit has to be mid-August for one very delicious reason. It is prime blueberry picking season above the tree line here.
This is what you're looking for. Like, a lot of people have come through here already. Good ones.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll be making a pie.
I gotta be making a pie. I found some big ones. The mother load.
I just got these little guys.
Look at this one.
Well, that's a good one.
Picking wild blueberries in wild Alaska.
This might be the biggest one I found all day. And I don't know if it should go in a pancake. I think it needs its own moment of glory. Oh, that one was really good.
Wish I had one. We're definitely making some pancakes.
Yeah.
This is pretty fun. I like foraging.
If Hatcher Pass is open all the way through, you can continue up and over into Willow and then on to the very unique little town of Talkeetna.
This is the mayor of Talkeetna.
Her name is Aurora. I know.
She loves being the mayor.
Oh, yeah.
What a cool town Talkeetna is. They have all kinds of places to eat, all kinds of shops, super friendly. It's another seasonal town.
On a clear day, there's a pretty great view of Denali from the river here, and while we did see her, that wasn't enough for us. We wanted to get a closer look, which led us further north up the park's highway.
There's supposed to be some pretty good dispersed spots in this area, so we'll give it a shot. And there are endless views of Denali today, too, which is pretty awesome. It is busy out here. There are tons of hunters. It almost seems like it's like maybe opening season for something. So hopefully we don't get skunked here either. There's just fifth wheels and coaches and trailers everywhere. So we've got a couple more miles left on this road. Hopefully find something. So we did end up finding a spot. Big surprise. It's just crazy busy. We went over a pass. I think that's why we got this spot, as some people turned around. But it's not bad. There's sun's out. We got a nice fire pit. Don't have the best view because of these bushes, but there's a river down here that you can pan for gold. So yeah, this will work for tonight. It's free. And we get to make Dutch oven chili because it's fall and we get a fire tonight. Despite how busy it has been here with all the hunting, it's actually been a pretty peaceful spot. But it looks like some people are packing up. So we're gonna go look for a little more solitude this morning. We're gonna head up the road just a little bit more. There's a valley, if we can get a view of this valley and maybe some of the mountain range. And I did some research yesterday. The reason this area is so busy is because today is the last day for moose hunting. It's getting cold too. We woke up with frost on the ground for the first time. Let's go see what we can find. New spot. Look at this. It's like gold.
On the September day, we were so lucky to have this view of Denali. Only 30% of visitors will actually get a chance to see the mountain, with only 10% seeing it completely unobstructed like this. With Denali as our backdrop, we enjoyed the afternoon, knowing that we'd need to start thinking about making our way out of Alaska soon. The seasons were beginning to change, and winter comes really early this far north, and oftentimes without warning.
We were planning on staying here tonight and then getting up early tomorrow and pushing on. We've been checking the forecast and it really hasn't shown much at all, so we really weren't worried. And all of a sudden, the skies opened up. It was a little sporty getting in here, and now I'm concerned that if it snows overnight or there's a heavy downpour, the little pass we have to get over could turn into a river or ice over, and it's not the greatest road. So we are gonna take off, got our super fancy fog lights, and we're gonna probably drive for about an hour and just go find a pullout or a staging area to crash for the night. I just want to get out of this spicy area. So we drove for about a little over an hour last night to beat the weather. We found just a random spot on the side of this road. It's an actual camp spot, but nothing special. I'm glad we left though, because the hills and the mountains where we left are covered in snow this morning. So it was a good call.
Yeah, we were camped just outside of Denali National Park. We had a beautiful view of Denali, and it's also kind of known as the Backway into Denali, although you can't actually get into the national park that way unless you were to hike in. Man, you could feel it. There's some crispness in the air that it's a lot milder down here where we camped. Having checked that off the list, it was time for our next adventure, taking on the 135-mile unpaved Denali Highway.
With all the rough road ahead of us in the next couple of days, I'm going to air down. That'll help keep things from shaking around and make our ride a lot smoother.
The Denali Highway opened in 1957, and it was the first road access to Denali National Park. Since then, the park's highway was constructed and is now the main artery to and from Denali from places like Anchorage and Fairbanks. With the park's highway, traffic is pretty low on the Denali Highway these days, and it also isn't well maintained. But during the summer months, it provides a lot of solitude and adventure for those wanting to make the trek.
Good morning, everybody. We had a good night's stay last night, some good sleep. It's nice and quiet here at camp. I think we're gonna stay another day just to enjoy this view, and even though it's really cold, it's not windy, it's not raining. Let's hope for the good weather to continue and maybe it to warm up just a little. A lot. It's cold. Just kidding. Although we do love this spot, it started to snow today. We've decided to push on. We are against the clock as far as when they're gonna close this highway. So we're just gonna go scout some new places out that we will share on our Patreon, and also to have for the next time we're on the Denali Highway, so we have some pre-planned places to go.
Where have you been? I couldn't go to sleep till you came in. Ramona, you're Miss Oklahoma. You Miss Oklahoma. I'll get you what you want.
Good morning.
Good morning. We have had such an amazing couple of nights here at this campground. The scenery has just been beautiful. We've got this lake behind us, the snow-capped mountain range. It's been very quiet. We're about 100 yards off of the Denali Highway, and you could probably count on one hand how many vehicles you hear go by in one day. Yeah, this is one of the best spots we've stayed, for sure.
And bonus, last night we saw the aurora come out. It was crystal clear. It was reflecting on the lake, and I don't think we could have asked for a better experience.
It is getting cold, though. The lake is starting to freeze over. We're waking up to more and more frost every day. It's definitely time to start moving on.
Yeah, so today we are gonna leave this beautiful spot. We've got about 20 or 30 miles today to get to the next spot here on the Denali Highway. We've only got 2 more nights on the Denali Highway before they shut it down. So we're gonna find some other spots and see what else there is out there. But this has been such a cool experience so far.
we ended up at a really cool campground called Tangle Lakes. I think there's about 40 some odd sites here, give or take. And we had the pick of the litter. We are the only ones here.
It's an actual campground. It's closed, technically closed for the season, but you can camp here. So no fee, but no amenities really.
And it's clear. Maybe we'll get another aurora tonight. We'll see.
Tonight we got Sloppy Joes, and they're extra sloppy. Make yourself some extra sloppy Joes. Camping along the Denali Highway has definitely been a highlight of this trip. It's so out there, it's wild, scenic, it's quiet. There's really not a lot. I think we saw 3 or 4 lodges along the way. One of them was open. I'm not sure about the other ones. They look pretty closed for the season. But I think we're gonna start making our way towards civilization. We're getting low on water too. We've never pushed our water tank like we have this week.
A full week.
Yeah, which is good to know that we can go 7 days on 1 tank of water. We're not sure if we're going to be able to wash dishes tonight or have coffee in the morning or tea.
Yeah.
So it might be time to just move on.
Our next stop would take us up to Fairbanks. Although winter was setting in fast, we had some much needed van repairs before heading to the lower 48. And there was also the promise of warming up in some hot water that we just couldn't resist.
This is paradise.
Don't play that game. So nice after the last couple of days of freezing weather camping. Oh, why didn't we think of this sooner?
We just stayed here.
Right.
We found ourselves hanging out on this river until we could get the necessary CV axle repair we were waiting for in Fairbanks. Sprinter parts are really hard to come by in Alaska, and we needed to get this done before we headed back to the lower 48. It was October now, and trying to drive south without four-wheel drive was the last thing we wanted. Being so late in the year, we made our way out of the state as soon as we had the repair done, the same way we had arrived. But there was another way out of Alaska, which had unfortunately already closed this late in the year. So when we came back the following summer and left earlier, we made sure to take the beautiful top of the world highway, and we're so glad we did.
This morning we are waking up in Chicken, Alaska. The town, I guess, was originally supposed to be called Ptarmigan, but nobody could spell or pronounce that, so they came up with the name Chicken, which is just as funky of a little town as you can imagine by the name. We got in last night. There's a little saloon here that we hung out at. They have this tradition of a panty blaster that I can really only describe by putting some video here for you. It's a what?
Panty cannon.
Panty cannon. Whose panties are in there? Yours? Yours? Your panties are in there.
And then the panties end up hanging from the ceiling.
And so did one of our hats.
For years.
No panties from us, though.
No.
Just a hat. We'll show you around a little bit more of this cute little town, but first we got to go in the cafe and find some coffee. So here we are at the ptarmigan statue. I know I said earlier that people couldn't spell or pronounce ptarmigan, so they called it chicken. It was actually just the original gold settlers here that couldn't spell it, so they named it chicken. And today this is actually still a very active gold camp. It's one of the last surviving gold rush towns in Alaska, which is pretty cool. And you'll see people here that are still mining for gold, and they're still finding stuff. We actually met somebody at the saloon last night that had a nice little vial of gold on him. So if you want to test your luck, definitely come up to Chicken.
There are about 2 people that live here year round, the postmaster and their spouse, and then in the summer you get about 30 people full time. So get here in the summer. I would come up, I would totally suggest coming up here. It's a super fun town. We're about 42 miles from the Canadian border, so we're gonna get moving on here soon. We haven't quite left Alaska yet, but we already miss it. It's time to move on.
And after 2 summers up here, we know this much. Alaska doesn't give itself away all at once. It teaches patience, humility, and how small you really are in the best possible way. These roads, these wild places, the moments when plans fell apart, they've left a mark on us we'll carry forever. We're leaving with full hearts, unfinished dreams, and the quiet certainty that this isn't goodbye. Just see you later. Because Alaska has a way of calling you back, and we already know the answer.
And sometimes hating.